From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan, and this is a continuing coverage special report of the shooting incident at Michigan State University. We advise that some of the audio in this piece may be difficult to hear.
Oh my God.
Some people were calling their family, some people were panicking. I'm not sure if someone heard a gunshot. Everyone just started blocking one door and running to the other door.
PD says you guys can go back to your dorms and shelter in place. Go back to your dorms and shelter in place.
I saw people climbing over other people, and we all ran to the parking lot near Acres. While we were leaving, the cops were running from the other side, and they were telling us, did you see anyone? Do you know what he looks like?
You've been hearing the sounds of the aftermath of the February 13th shooting at Michigan State University. East Lansing has been rattled by a mass shooting that has left 3 students dead and 5 others critically injured. An alert was sent at 8:31 p.m. Monday, telling students to run, hide, fight, with a report of shots fired at Berkey Hall and at the MSU Union. The deceased are Brian Fraser of Grosse Pointe and Alexandria Werner of Clawson. Family members on Tuesday, February 14th, identified the 3rd student victim as Ariel Anderson of Harper Woods. University Interim Deputy Police Chief Chris Rosman revealed the name of the suspected shooter in a press conference Tuesday morning.
His name is Anthony. Last name is McCrae. Anthony Dwayne McCrae. He was 43 years old. The suspect in this case was located at approximately 11:35 p.m. in the city of Lansing. The suspect is deceased due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The suspect had no known current or past ties to the university. President Joe Biden on Tuesday afternoon issued a statement in response to the shooting, saying, quote, "Our hearts are with these young victims and their families, the broader East Lansing and Lansing communities, and all Americans across the country grieving as the result of gun violence," end quote.
Our Spartan community is reeling today. I want to start by thanking law enforcement.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin also made remarks reacting to the tragedy Tuesday morning.
We're all broken by an all too familiar feeling. Another place that is supposed to be about community and togetherness, shattered by bullets and bloodshed. We know this is a uniquely American problem. We cannot keep living like this. Our children are scared to go to school. People feel unsafe in their houses of worship or local stores. Too many of us scan rooms for exits when we enter them. And many of us have gone through the grim exercise of figuring out who our last call would be to. Last night, a lot of kids on this campus made those calls.
In responding to the deadly shootings, Democratic lawmakers say they have a new opportunity to introduce legislation to address gun violence in the state that stalled in the past. While they provided a general outline of bills they plan to put forward, exact details on the forthcoming proposals and timing of their proposals remain unclear.
As the representative of Oxford, Michigan, I cannot believe that I am here again doing this 15 months later. And I am filled with rage that we have to have another press conference to talk about our children being killed in their schools.
Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin.
For me, the most haunting picture of last night was watching the cameras pan through the crowds and seeing a young person wearing an Oxford Strong sweatshirt. The sweatshirts that were handed out after those kids lived through a school shooting 15 months ago. And we have children in Michigan who are living through their second school shooting in under a year and a half. If this is not a wake-up call to do something, I don't know what is.
The Detroit Free Press spoke to Jennifer Mancini, a mother of a former Oxford high school student who is now a freshman at MSU. Her daughter, whose name is not being used in this report, was across the street from the Union when gunfire erupted, according to her mother. She saw people running out of the Union and called her mom. It was a surreal phone call for Mancini, who had just spent the last year helping her daughter cope with the loss of 2 of her closest friends who were among the 4 students killed in the November 30th, 2021 mass shooting at Oxford High School. Jennifer Mancini stated, quote, "I can't believe this is happening again," end quote. In a similar move, MSU senior Jackie Matthews took to TikTok to express similar disbelief and anger over the shooting.
It is almost 1 a.m. and I am currently directly across the street from where the shootings at Michigan State occurred. I am 21 years old, and this is the second mass shooting that I have now lived through. 10 years and 2 months ago, I survived the Sandy Hook shooting. The fact that this is the second mass shooting that I have now lived through is incomprehensible. My heart goes out to all the families and the friends of the victims of this Michigan State shooting. But we can no longer just provide love and prayers. It needs to be legislation. It needs to be action. It's not okay. We can no longer allow this to happen. We can no longer be complacent. I'll forever be Sandy Hook strong and forever be Spartan strong.
A helpline is available for immediate counseling services following the shooting at Michigan State University on Monday. Counselors are available to aid with a range of symptoms 24/7 through the Disaster Distress Helpline, sponsored by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, according to a release from the agency. Those seeking to use the service can call 1-800-985-5990. Again, that's 1-800-985-5990. Spanish speakers have the option to press 2 for bilingual support as well, according to the release. Several vigils and memorials have been organized in the wake of the shooting. You can find each individual memorial's time and location by looking for Miriam Marini's article on Freep.com.
I do have to reiterate, this is still fluid, it's still ongoing.
Deputy Chief Chris Rosman, again.
There are still crime scenes that are being processed, and we still are in the process of putting together the pieces to try to understand what happened and why it may have happened. So we're still working through that.
As the story continues to develop, stay with Freep.com for the latest updates and continuing coverage. FREEP.com.